Moody. Moody Margaret.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Simple Football Talk TV podcast. Today we are joined by the same usual bunch, Andrew Rigby and Kyle Miller, and a very interesting weekend of football this week. Let's start this weekend by going into the Leicester Southampton game, a 9-0 victory for Leicester and a 10-man Southampton as well, from right at the get-go nearly.
Listen, I said last week, and you didn't believe me, that Leicester are a force this season, and they proved it on Friday. They really did.
And I will apologise to you on air right
No,
now.
I'm not looking for that. But honestly, they got the momentum off Southampton, fair enough. But I believe even with Ryan Bertrand on that pitch, it would have been a similar scoreline. They were just absolutely incredible, Leicester.
I wrote one thing for my notes about this game. They were at them for the get-go, did not stop punishing them, and said especially Southampton gave up and showed no quality, and at the sending off changed nothing. That's what I said.
Yeah. I don't really know if you're describing a football match there or something else.
It was not a football match in my eyes. It was an absolute. It was
Okay, well, if you didn't watch the game, go and watch the highlights because it was incredible. But Jose Perez gets his first hat-trick, gets his not only first goal for the club, he gets his first hat-trick. That was phenomenal. And every single Leicester goal was just, the build-up was just so quick. It was just, they knew what they were going to do before they even they had the ball. It was just absolutely ruthless.
They were in sync the entire game. And correct me if I'm wrong here, but didn't Perez score a hat-trick against Southampton for Newcastle last season?
I think he did, actually. You might be right on that, actually.
I was sitting and I thought, wait a second here. The only time I ever pay attention to this guy is when he scores a hat-trick, because no one ever really goes mental with Newcastle strikers, but Perez was kind of, people went, really? All that money for Perez? But holy Moses, he has showed his quality.
Yeah, but they haven't spent that amount of money just for him to get one hat-trick against Southampton. He needs to kick on from this now.
He has to.
They've spent a lot of money on this lad. He's a very, really good player in my opinion, but he needs to do this more often. He needs to get at least a couple of goals every couple of games. He can't just get 3 goals in one game and have a 4 or 5 game streak where he doesn't get one or get an assist or something. It just won't work, and unless they've shown that if a player doesn't perform that they've bought in, if they spent a lot of money on them, they'll be out and they'll have a replacement in mind.
I think it was the second goal. Perez's second goal, the one where the cross goes in.
Yeah.
And they just, I've watched so many, 3 or 4 times, right? I don't know if he's drop kicked it in, or he's just smacked him.
That's the one where he catches it on the volley and rockets it right at the top of the net.
Literally,
fantastic.
It's something you see in WWE. He just runs and drop kicks it. He goes flying into the top corner. I'm like, holy Moses!
What I just can't get is at least 6 of these goals, it's just chips over the defence. Surely Southampton should be able to click on, okay, they've done this 5 other times, let's click onto this now and not allow it again. Not 6. No, right, now we'll let's calm down, boys.
Oh, here we go. Oh, there's chip for ball. Here we go again.
Surely though, after maybe the second goal, okay, I can they've chipped us twice. Let's just anticipate this now. No, we're going to allow it another 4 times.
These guys supposedly play in the best league in the world. They're getting paid tens upon tens of thousands of pounds a week. But when a lob goes in, there's the only player you're seeing is Jamie Vardy or whoever else, or Tillmans or whatever. You see no one. Where is their defence? I want to know what the tactics were before the game.
One of them were in the showers because they'd been sent off.
Yes.
That's where one of them went. But that's where you've got a question.
Are we all in agreement that was a proper red card here?
That's where you've got to question the manager's tactics, because you need to anticipate a sending off in any game. Doesn't matter if you're at home, 100%. Which they were. You need to anticipate losing the man, because Leicester have a lot of flary players, so they're gonna obviously try and get players sent off, not deliberately, obviously, but once that happens, you need to have a plan, and they
The
did
thing
not
with
have
the
a plan
tackle
at
is
all.
it's high. It could have done his leg in, could have done anything, could have caused a serious injury. So it's
It
out
was
of
it was
control. So
care.
red card for me,
Yes,
100%. And
it was
fair play to
careless.
VAR for going back and actually getting that call right.
And that and as we will talk in this podcast, that's the only good thing VAR, in my opinion, done this weekend.
Well, they had a mixed one, but let's not get too much into that just yet, because
Yes,
I still want. I honestly, I was blown away with Leicester. I really was,
Oh, it was
and
amazing.
that
they were
puts
fantastic.
Fantastic game.
them third now. They're level on points with City. Am I right in saying with that, or they must be close
The
anyway.
the level in points with Chelsea.
11 points with Chelsea then, but what an achievement! I just don't see where they are going to slow down.
No,
I just don't at all.
they've
They're
got a
absolutely
really good
sensational to
momentum.
watch. Leicester, they really are. And fair play to Brendan Rodgers. He walked into a team that just needed that sort of attacking tactics to that attacking manager to say, "Go on, lads, just go and have some fun," and that's what they've done. And they've got a solid defense as well to
Yep.
when they're in a bit of trouble. So
Mhm.
honestly, Leicester could do another special season this year. They
Brendan
really
Def-
could,
Rodgers
def-
had a
yes.
fantastic amount of success, even
in
with
my opinion,
Celtic.
anyway.
Although that's the Scottish Premier
Moving
League.
on to go on,
Although
sorry,
that's
go on, Stuart.
although that's the Scottish Premier League, Brendan Rodgers had fantastic success with Celtic. He's taken them to to Europe, and he's although maybe not the most successful in Europe with Celtic. Hopefully, he can maybe do something with Leicester, having a much stronger team,
Oh,
a slightly more experienced team. If Leicester are going to be
champions.
if Leicester are going
Point.
to be building this momentum now, surely we can expect bigger things from them, as you're saying. You know what I mean?
The better you do, the bigger the expectations.
And
That's all.
this is the
In my
start.
opinion, man.
This is
In
just
my
the
opinion,
start
man.
as well.
It is just the start.
I think they have the most clinical striker in the league right now. If you think of, you know,
Of Vardy here, yeah.
yeah. Vardy is just tearing it up as if the Premiership title season has just came back and he's just going,
Yeah.
oh yes. He's never stopped. Like some of the Leicester players just fell off after that season, but he's continued.
Yeah.
And he's kept going. He's not lost his foot, and I think he's a
you've got-
contender for Golden Boot
Now,
for sure.
now you get Vardy and Perez as a team now. That is a good, strong attacking force there.
Well, I wouldn't go that far because I think I've mentioned it already. Perez, this is the first time he scored goals.
No,
So
I know,
Mhm.
but
when you say
this can be a good attacking force. Perez and
Yeah.
Vardy together.
well, hopefully for Leicester's point of view, that is the case because
Yeah.
I do rate Leicester as a football club, and they've
Yes.
had a couple of setbacks, but
Yeah.
they're a really good team.
It was. I just want to put one more point in. I think this win was very fitting, very important, as Leicester just fitted in that garden thing or
Yeah,
whatever it
that
was.
eye for
And
the owner. Yeah.
yeah, I thought this win was. I think that might have played a tiny part in it. Also, we don't know that.
I think it would have played a big part.
Yes, very good tribute to the owner. It's the anniversary, whatever, and good for the fans to come out, especially in an away game. You don't think you're going to defeat a team away 9-0, as we've known by other teams their away records. But very great performance, and I can't wait to watch them again.
Yeah, 100%.
They're in history. They're in history no matter what they do now. They've got the biggest away win ever in the Premier League. It's actually the biggest win in top flight in England. I think it might be actually in terms of away, and it's the second top score of all time. I think there is a one better. But yeah, fair play to them. Anyway, moving on, we had Manchester City against Aston Villa. Comfortable 3-0 win. Is that a fair assessment, or was it a bit more difficult than that?
I don't know.
I would say
there was a lot of good attacking play in there. Raheem Sterling's job was made a bit too easy in some cases as well. Yet again, defender issue. I saw quite a few good runs in the highlights from Sterling as well. He's really stepping in his stride again.
Well, I'm trying to remember who it was. I think was it Martin Keown in midweek who said that Raheem Sterling is the complete package now.
Yeah.
He has reached
Yeah.
his full potential, and it's really hard to argue with that point. He's just a sensational player. He
Oh,
really is. And
absolutely. But yeah, again, watching the City Aston Villa game, a very similar case to Southampton. It was just complete defender error. For all
Mhm.
for first two goals anyway, it was just defender error. People not marking up the appropriate players, and then almost losing a fourth goal very early on. When passing from out the box, there was three City players up against two Aston Villas, and they were just outmatching them at every point as well. Just
well, well, I've got a sort of quote here from Pep Guardiola, who said that in the first half, his City side showed relegation form. So, so what does that say? They were 0-0 at half time. He must have absolutely battered them because they came
yeah,
out on 1-3 now. But Fernandinho red card, that's gonna hurt him. That's really gonna hurt them,
Oh,
that, because the defensive issues are really bad at the moment. They're very short at the back as well. So
yeah. Pep
that,
said after the game that obviously I totally agree with this, as we all know by City's defensive woes, is that he's missing Laporte, and I don't. That's the only quote recently I'll agree with him with, is they are seriously missing Laporte. That is one of the reasons why the fact Liverpool are just going to keep going and smashing teams. That is the reason why they've dropped some points, because their defending has been poor. Like the Otamendi mistake a few weeks back or a month ago, you wouldn't see Laporte doing that. Laporte's very consistent, and I feel like that's a major blow in the title race so far. We're only 10 games in, so
to be
not
fair,
going to question that yet.
Manchester City's next game is at home to Southampton. So,
Oh,
and if they were gonna
oh,
lose, Fernandinho
oh.
probably the best is for that game. I mean,
Better
if
get maybe.
Southampton plays bad as they did against Leicester, God
let's
help them.
let's not tear Aston Villa apart too much for this game. Although it was poor very early in
You
the
don't
second
expect to
half,
go beat
It's
City.
not
I
Southampton. It's
didn't
not Southampton.
I didn't expect Aston Villa to go in and win this. They had shall I say, a phenomenal attempt right at
Listen,
the end.
listen, listen. There won't apart from maybe 2 or 3 teams in this league, any team will not. You won't rip them apart from getting beat by Manchester City at the
Oh,
Etihad.
absolutely not.
Yeah,
It's
It's
a
one
of
of those
course.
games where you
phenomenal
go,
team.
let's try our best, but if it doesn't work out, it is what it is. Obviously, you don't want to go in with that mentality, but I don't want to criticize Aston Villa because
Yeah.
it's a difficult game to go into no matter what. It
Yeah,
really is.
it's one of those fixtures in the calendar where like, oh, here we go again. You know, it's you don't expect to take points off them, and I know Norwich done it. You know, but it's Aston Villa are a great team. Like when I watched this and obviously seen the Southampton thing, I was like, Aston Villa at least showed some fight.
Hmm.
They at least at least showed you that they didn't just lay back and just go, oh, well, we're losing by 2 or 3 goals. You know, it's over and done with. They at least showed some heart and fight, and
Mhm.
that's why I think they will have a good season regardless of the result.
Aye, that's just credit to Pep Guardiola, but he's got a mountain to climb at the moment, so they can't afford to be dropping any more points. And he
Mm-hmm.
probably at half time did fear the worst because I don't think they were playing too well anyway. But I'm just
Mm-hmm.
trying to remember. Am I right in saying that what do you call it? Um, unless I'm talking rubbish here, did an outfield player go in goal for Aston Villa, or am I talking rubbish?
No, it was a case of the keeper charged out, and on two occasions, the Aston Villa player defender was
That's
in
right,
goals.
Tyrone Mings. Yeah,
Was
And
that Mings? Yeah, it
wow,
was Mings.
the
Yeah,
saves he made! Wow.
yeah.
Mings is an animal. He's 6'5". He could play in goals if he wanted to.
Oh,
He's a machine.
100%. But
Well, he's
honestly,
he's
the
bullied obviously because he got his England call up as well, so he's and rightly so. He's been really good since he's gone to Aston Villa and
Oh, he really
a
has.
big player for them at the back.
yeah,
That's who you need.
Moving on,
I'll,
Everton couldn't continue their winning form.
mm,
Um, Brighton winning 3-2. Now, I'm sorry, but I'm going to put my loyal cap back on here.
Let's
That
give him the
that
floor.
Listen, it was incredible the way they lost it. The own goal at the end, it was just absolutely insane. It
I,
really was.
I can see a full sketchbook in your room right now of so many notes on this one particular game, and it's just, oh, just everyone are just getting torn apart.
Yeah,
Was it?
well,
here,
yeah,
Gross's free kick though.
Gross. I was just about that. I was actually about to say that.
can we just shed some light on that subject just for a second?
Oh,
That
God.
free kick though, the
It was
defender
not
ducks
bad,
out the way.
He
There's
does. He does. It's just it's spineless.
I don't, not
Spineless.
that anyone ever wants to
defending.
take a football off their face, but
But come on,
better
what would you
bravery,
rather?
man.
It was 3-2. It was 3-2. It's not as if it's the Leicester 9-0 or 3-0.
know.
You still have a chance to get something in this game. You don't dodge out the way of a free kick.
Absolutely.
You do not.
But
Absolutely.
it shows the inconsistency of Everton because they 1 week they're winning at home pretty well, and then the other week they're dropping points again, and now they're back down to 16th now in the Premier League. So
This is where you cannot just blame the manager, and the manager is to blame in a lot of parts too. But the players are the players are all over the place. They play one game the next perfectly, well not perfectly, but to standard. Then 1 week they're just abysmal.
the team's just not settled, is it? You
It's
know,
not. It's kind of the same as the Tottenham situation. Their team, Everton's team, just isn't in the right frame of mind just now. There's a lot of troubles in the camp. I think by the criticism of the manager and the media, etc. There's not a lot of optimism, but they need to figure it out fast because they are slipping down that table every week, and it's not looking like it's going to get better.
So in terms of for the first kind of couple of teams we spoke about, then a couple of games, and obviously we're only another 2 months now away from transfer window, and a lot of managers must be starting to think how are we going to be changing up the teams to get ourselves back up this table again. What can you see Everton or Brighton even doing to sort out the teams here?
Panic buys galore. It's going to
It's
look
just
like.
gonna be, isn't it?
you have to be careful about panic buying. Everton have got to be careful because they've already spent a lot of money, and I don't
They
believe
do.
that is the issue. I don't think that's the issue. The issue is they need to get a bit of consistency. They need to get a bit of confidence. They need to get 2 or 3 wins on the bounce, and they'll be right back up there.
See, right now, I don't see them doing that.
Yeah, it's not
But-
looking good for
They're
them.
just going to keep bouncing between W to L to D. They're just going to keep. They're not going to get consistency because they're not showing any signs of it.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
one point I wanted to make in this game, which was massive, was the penalty that Brighton got.
Yes,
That was the first penalty that had been awarded by VAR when the referee had not first given it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was a big step in the right direction for me, particularly.
In comparison from last week to this week, VAR, that's a very good use of it. When the referee,
That's when it should be used.
exactly.
There's pros and cons to it.
Yeah,
I'd
'cause
say,
from
but
what,
there will be problems. It's something new. It's something that not a lot of people are going to be used to yet, and it will do some good, and it will do some bad. So we just need to let this flow just now. I feel.
Well, there were still some.
Oh, there was still
There
there
terrible.
always will be some controversial moments, and
Yes.
likes of the Liverpool Tottenham game, which we'll go on to in just a second. But the problem I still have with VAR, although it's a good tool, it takes a lot of momentum away from the game. And we talked about this last week when the Liverpool
yes.
Man United game. It took just so much momentum away from the game. It's hard to get yourself, motivated and get that momentum back into the game again. It's such a hard task.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I
but
think there needs to be something else in place that they can make their decisions in VAR that can still keep a game in flow. How you do it, I don't know, but there has to be something in place eventually that we can keep a game in flow, have the players playing, and have a decision made. I
that
don't know.
comes through practice. It comes through practice, and they've said they warned us at the start of the season. They're gonna need 1 or 2 seasons to really get this right, and we have to give it them. The problem we've had is that they've been making decisions that you just can't understand how they haven't overturned them.
Yeah. The thing that pisses me off about it is when you have the leagues like the Serie A, Bundesliga. What the referee does is he goes over to one of the screens and watches the decision. He doesn't go and ask the guy over there at the monitor, "Oh, how would you see this? How do you
Yeah, we
think I played
touched
it?"
on that last week.
Yeah, they go over, they watch the replay, go, "Oh wait, it was a penalty, or it wasn't a penalty. It was offside. It was a foul in the middle of play." The referee then goes, looks at it, sees he's made an error in judgment, and then changes it or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Digne's own goal, just to touch on the last few minutes of the game as well.
Yeah, it was just one of those moments. He's tried to clear it. He doesn't. He's not. He's not had the shout that he can leave it, and he's just walled it into the top corner. It's an unfortunate moment for him and for Everton, because I think if they'd gone away with a point from that game,
Yeah.
would have still be annoyed. But it's a better point's better than none, so not good for him at all.
Now, I want to move on to the next game.
Go on.
Liverpool and Tottenham.
Here we go.
Let's get the biggest topic that we always have with our Liverpool resident in here.
Here we go.
We have to always touch on the topic. This is always the longest talking points. As soon as we touch Liverpool, Spurs, and Kane's 47-second goal.
Well, first of all, what I want to say is Liverpool's performance was absolutely outstanding.
I would agree.
It was absolutely outstanding, and that moment was a bit of a right. Okay, first of all, yes, it's a free goal, but it could easily be stopped. Soko goes past a couple of players far too easily, but it's the start of the game. You're not going to make a silly foul and get a booking, to be fair.
Yeah.
So it comes to the sun, and he just decides to hit it as hard as he can. It's come off Lovren's head onto the post, and Harry Kane is on side and heads it in. It's a freak moment. But
what an attempt on goal from Son, though. The power behind that and the accuracy.
Hit the one that hit the post, was it?
Like the first off Lovren's head.
50p ad.
Then
Nah. It's a moment for Spurs, but listen, Liverpool were nothing short of brilliant. The energy we showed, the urgency at times was frightening, and we just created chance after chance after chance. They weren't the biggest chances at times, but you create one, and within 30 seconds later, we're back up there, and we'd put another cross in and whatnot. The fullbacks were absolutely brilliant, as they always are.
As it was, yeah.
Crossing is the thing is with the fullbacks, right? Is that people say, oh, they get down the byline, they cross, and but you've got to understand how good these crosses are. And they're not even in the areas where you think you should be crossing from.
Yeah.
They're absolutely outstanding. I could probably get a goal from a header with one of their balls into the box, which would be very difficult anyway.
Alexander Arnold can create a chance out of less than nothing.
Well, not just that, but Robertson as well. But Robertson and Mane have got, I don't know if you noticed, they've just got this incredible connection. They really are. Their link-up play is phenomenal. It really is. And Trent and Salah can sometimes do it. But particularly on that left-hand side with Robertson and Mane, they are really, really good. And Fabinho, it's great to see him back to his best. It was someone that I wasn't too pleased with last week, but he was absolutely fantastic. And his assist for the first goal was brilliant. It really was.
Firmino missed Salah. You can tell he missed him in this game.
Well, what they do is, the thing is, right, is when all three of them play,
the skills were popping off, the wee sneaky passes were going in.
Because they all know each other's game, and they all just move around. So Mane's on left sometimes, and they might go on the right. The interchange of plays, you just can't deal with it. So Firmino can drop into that midfield, get the ball, do a bit of magic, and Salah and Mane are like two strikers, but Mane instead of the left could be on the right. It's impossible to mark, and that's why the front three is the best front three in Europe, because not only are they consistent, but they're just frightening all the time, and no other front three in world football, in my opinion, do what those three do. They're absolutely insane.
Now, Son, I just want to go back to this particular player. He's been very interesting to me this weekend, because he tore your defence apart 3-4 times himself, and he get right through. He was on goal 3 times. One time he hit the bar, another time.
Well, let's hang on. But when he hit the bar, we need to talk about this, because this is a huge moment in the game. They're still 1-0 up at this point.
Yeah, that
goes past Alisson. He has to score that. That is. I mean, Liverpool, I still believe we would have got a point out of that game. I still think we would have got a 2 goals and brought it back to 2-2, but I don't think we would have won the game, or it would have been very unlikely anyway. It was a massive moment.
Son was really in form this weekend. He just needed to get his finishing on point.
I would give Son his due. It was not the best of angle for the shot.
The thing is, though, right, is that I know you're saying that, right, but those 2 moments were all he had. I said all my life the Spurs were absolute rubbish, and I agree. I still haven't changed my mind at all. I don't think Spurs played well one bit. They had a
Nope, I
big moment
agree.
at the start of the game. They had a big moment. They took it, fair play. The second one was the Sun chance. Other than
Their
that, they
their
just
keep
had absolutely nothing.
their goalkeeper saved them from at
Oh yeah.
least another couple of Liverpool goals.
Now
Yeah,
Easy.
Gazaniga was fantastic. He really was. And the thing
He-
was that they're not difficult saves, but what the thing is he's making them in concession, if you like.
yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, he was fantastic as
That
well.
that that first double save, I thought that was really, really
But
crucial.
I just want to touch on this again. We've just mentioned about Aston Villa going to City, and they're not going to win and whatnot. Spurs can't be going in with that mentality. Spurs were in a European Cup final with us last season.
I don't think
You know
Spurs
they
have
were
went
they were
into a
they
game
were
with you
fighting.
guys thinking that.
They were hang on, let me stop. They were fighting with us in City throughout until the last 6, 7, or 8 games of the season last season. So they should be one of the teams at least that should be going to these grounds and thinking that they can get something. And yes, they did against City, but they were very, very lucky. City should have had a couple of penalties that day. They were very, very fortunate to come away with that point at the Etihad. This time they got a bit of luck, but it wasn't enough for them this time. I worry for Spurs. I really do.
I'm
Uh,
going to be I'm going to be very, very biased here. I do not worry about Tottenham. Now I'm not going to hate them on them right now, but watching snippets of their game, and what I said last week was when I said they're in trouble and they are going through this pitfall and that changes had to be made. The team is just not there. Even though it was only 2-1, and if you didn't watch the highlights, you didn't watch the game, and you just went onto the score and seen that it was 2-1, you're going, oh, 2-1 is not bad. Liverpool are clearly a better team. That the scoreline did not reflect
they,
on the game
yeah.
itself.
The problem is
Tottenham are horrible.
they've got too many players in bad form. Aurier is the worst right back I've ever seen in my life. I
Oh,
don't
I
rate
agree.
Aurier one
Oh,
bit, and the
yes.
penalty he gives away is really, really bad because he wins the first tackle. That's absolutely fine. But as soon as he did this against Leicester, but this time he was actually properly fouled. He gets a touch in, and he's just completely fouled. He just trod completely on his ankle, and it's such an obvious penalty. And the thing is, right, is that if that they doesn't concede that penalty, Liverpool have got another 10 minutes where the pressure's going to be on even more for us to get the winner. And maybe it doesn't come. Maybe it'll be one of those days that it just doesn't come for us. So
You may
it's a
trod on
big
his ankle.
moment.
You
And
watch that
Deli
scene
Ali,
before,
I
you
mean,
know.
Deli Ali's just I don't know what's happened in the last 12 months, but he
When
might be
you
one of
think
these players that needs to get out of Spurs to
when you think
reignite his career.
seem you're thinking the difference in quality with backs of Tottenham, backs of Liverpool, it is scary. It is
But
scary.
Spurs have got on paper a really good in the middle anyway. Some good centre halves. They've got Vertonghen, Alderweireld, and Sanchez. Obviously, the contract situation with a couple of them is a huge problem. But Spurs, when we're not talking about Spurs with players who that they bought on a free or whatever. These are some of the top central defenders in European football.
The fa-
So
the
why
fa-
are they struggling so badly in defence?
the fairy tale of Tottenham is done, in my opinion. They didn't win.
Yes.
They didn't win anything while the story was going on. They had a chance, great chance, failed, and right now the honeymoon phase is done.
Well, I touched on that, and I'm noticing that I'm saying this quite a few times, but I just want to make sure that you know this. I did say that last weekend. I thought this was it for Spurs.
Yep.
They were going to have a difficult season. They were going to see some players, important players, go.
Mm-hmm.
Harry Kane being one of them, but
Ericsson definitely. He does not look like a man who wants to be playing
who's going to
in
go
that
and
shirt.
buy him?
Someone has to.
Who?
The only team that I think can, well, two teams that I think, are PSG and Madrid.
PSG don't. I don't think PSG will buy him, and I don't think Real Madrid will buy him. So I don't know where he's going to go. I also
He's
he could go Chinese league, to be honest. Wouldn't surprise me.
maybe he might win something there.
Yeah, I suppose so. But yeah, a great result for Liverpool, and that keeps us 6 points top of the table, which is
Yep.
massive. And if we could beat Aston Villa next weekend, we at least go and have City come to us with still at least a 6 point lead. Bearing in mind the City do beat Southampton, which I expect them to do. That's massive pressure. We'll be under pressure, of course,
Hmm.
but City will come in having to attack because they'll have to win the game.
They cannot go and get a draw. For example, they cannot go from 6 points to potentially 7 points, 9 points. It's too. The Christmas period is when it gets to the Christmas period time. It's so important that you do not distance yourself away from the position you want to be in. And if Liverpool, for example, I'm not saying this, but if Liverpool, for example, go into the Christmas period with a 9-10 point gap, that is going to be hard to come from. It's happened before. Teams have fell off at the point, but right now I do not see Liverpool dropping as many points as what Man City have done recently.
Well, there's many factors and I don't want to really talk too much more about this game, but there's many factors. There's Liverpool still in all the competitions that they can. They're playing
Mm-hmm.
Arsenal on Wednesday, which we're going to touch on Arsenal next. That's the next
Mm-hmm.
thing I'm going to talk about. With so you probably and it's at Anfield as well. So you probably, even though Liverpool are going to play a pretty weak team, you think they will probably go through in that game, possibly. But then you've also got Champions League. We've got the what's it called? The FIFA Club World Cup in December as well, plus all the heavy fixtures that we've got. It's not going to be just a case that you don't see Liverpool doing it. It's the fact that Liverpool got so many games coming up that it's inevitable that we are going to drop points because the intensity of the games and teams will pounce at that, in my opinion, definitely. So it's a big factor, but I don't want to talk too much more on Liverpool. I want to move on to Arsenal, and there's only one way one place to start, and it's Granit Xhaka.
Oh Jesus!
Now, I've got a huge problem with. I really, really do for two reasons. I see both sides. First of all, let's talk about it an Arsenal fan's perspective. If we were Arsenal. The Arsenal fans were never happy that he got the captaincy to start with. That's because he should never have got it because he's not good enough and he is not a leader, in my opinion. When I've seen him play, so that's factor one. He's just dreadful. He gives away stupid fouls and all he does is win. So when he came off, they boo. Now I'll pull my hands up if Liverpool player doesn't play well. I might give him a wee boo as well. But it comes as the territory.
Mm-hmm.
Now
Mm-hmm.
he's the captain. No, he's been chosen by the club and the manager to be the captain. So they've got faith in him. They see something that the fans don't see. And
He was
to be
also
fair, they're
chosen.
more
He was also chosen by his teammates
yeah.
first and foremost.
So they're probably more qualified than fans, if you like, in terms of experience, because they obviously know him to see that he can be the captain.
Mm-hmm.
But that was disgusting to do that.
Mm-hmm.
When your team are now too old, you have to win the game because otherwise you're gonna be out the top four again. All your rivals are getting results that are around you,
Mm-hmm.
and to think, right, this is the chance. I'm gonna show them. Slowly walk off the pitch, put your hands to your ears as if to say, keep going, in a cheeky way. Throw your t-shirt down and walk down the tunnel and not support your team. You're basically the face of the club because you're the captain. He should be stripped of it. I don't care what anyone says. You
I
be
agree.
human, but that you can't stay the captain with that. You just simply can't.
My point on the whole Granit Xhaka situation is I've watched a couple of relating to it, and I can't say on air what he said. We all know what he said. What
We
he
know what he
mouthed.
said, yeah.
Yeah,
If you don't know what it is,
yeah,
read about it.
we all know what he mouthed to the fans, which I think is abysmal. As a captain of a prestigious team, doesn't matter what team it is,
Well,
regardless.
Arsenal are a massive team.
Yeah,
They're a massive
very
team.
much team. But this is why the whole captaincy. See, in recent years, and you might agree with me, you might not. The captaincies are flung about, especially at Arsenal. The captains, there's never been a clean-cut captain of Arsenal for years. That's why there's no stability in the team. That's why there's no leaders in the team. That's why, see if there was leaders in the team, proven leaders, Granit Xhaka, for start, wouldn't be capped. He's not a leader. He's a player that is reckless, gets sent off too many times, giving away yellow cards, giving away free kicks, giving away penalties.
Well,
He's done,
he gave away another penalty, didn't he, in that game?
Yep. He was reckless. He went in for it and then just went boff right there. He knows, because guess what? Every time Arsenal played Palace in the last couple of seasons, they've gave away penalties. Last season, gave away penalties against Palace, dropped points against Palace. They've done it again, and now look what's happened. I mean, yeah, VAR did screw them over at the end, and I think the goal should have been given.
I thought it was a little bit harsh. He does foul him. Unfortunately, you can't get away from that.
But you cannot give away the performance that Arsenal played terrible. See, we were 2 goals up at home.
It's criminal to concede that.
It is. You wouldn't see Liverpool or Man City do it.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't even see Chelsea do it.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing that they have to do is see when you're up 2-0 up at home. The usual routine is get your best players off. Aubameyang's, Lacazette's, Pepe's, for example. Give them rest. Get some of the younger players on, or some of the players that are part of the Europa League team, like Martinelli, for example. Get them on, or Saka, and give these guys games. Get some flow to it. But no, they decide to just go and concede 2 sloppy goals. And as soon as Palace scored their first, you knew where it was going.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you on that, definitely. I've just got a tweet here from Hector Bellerin that he put after the game. He says, "We are all humans. We all have emotions, and sometimes it's not easy dealing with them. It's time to lift each other up, not to push each other away. We only win when we are together." Now, it's this is where the squad have got to rally though behind him, because he can get the captain taken off, and fair enough, but they can't get rid of him at least till January anyway. Listen, we've never been in that situation. I don't know what I'd do with that situation. I don't think I'd ever do that. But to have your whole fight is probably the worst thing that could ever happen to you, to be fair. And we're all human, of course, but I just think it was a bit over the top.
Yeah, I feel. See if you. Now, I'm going to ask both of you a question. I'll give mine after you've done yours. If you were to take away, if you're the manager, for example, or anybody else, or a fair show at the club, and you're to take the captaincy armband, Granit Xhaka, right now, who would you give it to in that Arsenal squad? There's no one. But see right now, if you were in that situation, who would you just give it to?
Keeper.
Socrates, maybe. Maybe.
It's a difficult one.
I think Socrates is a very good option, because Socrates
came from
Dortmund.
He
came from Dortmund. He was a leader there.
I think Socrates might be a good shout for that.
Some people would say David Luiz due to David Luiz's experience, but David Luiz is a donkey, and this is coming from me,
he is a donkey,
who had him. And I wouldn't see when they gave David Luiz the captaincy at Chelsea for a little period. He wasn't the official captain, but he had it just there. I was like, no, don't like that. He's not a leader either. He makes too many mistakes. You can't give it to Ozil. Ozil doesn't play. He's just there.
The fact that the man just had enough of him.
Yeah. There's no leaders in the Arsenal squad. It doesn't look like it's going to get any better. You can't buy leaders in this day and age. They need to be born and bred into the club, and right now they don't have that. So that's why they're not getting results. They don't have someone to pick them up. They don't have someone in the dressing room to pick them up. Dust them off, give them a couple of punches to the side or the ribs. Do something. No, there's nothing there. I don't think Emery's the kind of manager that, like Guardiola, for example, and starts screwing at them or whatever at halftime. Because as you'll notice, it was the same with Arsene Wenger. They come out after halftime, nothing would change. Same flat foot, and they just don't know what to do themselves. So that's what I thought about this game. No leaders, no fight.
Yeah.
They just crumbled.
Now,
Well, one of
That's
their rivals, though, I guess, got a win. Manchester United 3-1 away
Mhm.
from home against
Mhm.
Norwich City. Solid work, I think.
I was
But they missed
impressed.
2 penalties, so.
Oh, they did. I wrote down quite a good bit for this. I
What's your
was.
thought? What's your thoughts on this trip?
first penalty wasn't a penalty anyway, in my opinion. Like
Hmm.
nowhere near it. It was a simple shoulder barge from the Man United player straight the Norwich defender. So how they can say that's a penalty to United, I have no idea.
I mean, it
Um,
never really mattered in the end, to be honest.
no, but it could have. It could have.
Excellent.
That's the point.
Yep.
So,
Mhm.
Yeah.
fantastic save from Norwich. A very unfortunate goal for Norwich from Rashford. Very simple cross ball over. Defense yet again nowhere to be seen.
I mean, yeah, and Scott McTominay's goal, which was, I believe, the first goal of this game for Manchester United, was their 2000th in the Premier League, and they're the first team to ever do that. So, that's a good feat for them, I guess. Scott McTominay getting another goal as well, looking like he may
um,
have cemented his place in that United team.
a rocket. I mean, if Pogba's not going to do it, then he might as well.
Definitely, we're lucky to have him at Scotland. We just need him to stop performing like that. But
I,
let's not get into that.
I think Scotland have had too much luck in the past. They're just not
Okay.
using it. Players are playing at high levels, and when it comes to national football, nope.
Yeah, so come to win for Manchester United there, definitely.
Yeah, not real a lot to say about the actual game. I thought United, as you said, won very comfortably. Two penalty misses that on another day could have cost them, and I wouldn't have been surprised if it did, because United aren't consistent either. We all know that. And if it did come back to bite them, which I actually thought it was going to, then I wouldn't have been surprised. But good result. They dominated most of the game. Not really used to seeing that these days from them,
No,
but good result.
fantastic. I mean, fantastic play right at the end for Norwich as well to get the consolation goal. Just a very simple run through defence, gets it off McTominay in the middle, and just dribbles it right through every one of the defenders. They probably, I mean, to be fair, there probably wasn't much care from the defenders at that point. The very last minute goal, but still, you should be trying to keep that clean sheet going.
Yeah.
It wasn't a good day of defending. It wasn't really.
We've gone from VAR issues last week to now defending issues this week.
It's always been the Premier League's got some of the poorest defending I've ever seen in my entire life. But let's not get too much into that. It's not much of an issue. We all know this.
Oh, that's
So another game, the final game that was on Sunday was Newcastle Wolves, 1-0 draw. Not the best game, if I'm being honest. I think Wolves probably deserved to win it. Didn't get it. It's a good point for Newcastle as well, who are getting a couple of results on the bounce here. But they got to send it off with Longstaff, which is not going to help them. I think it was Matty. Was it? Which one was it? Sean Longstaff who got sent off. I believe it was Sean, not Matty.
I would say on paper, this if you would think of a game that would be the flat game that would just there'd be not a lot there, and it'd be quite not boring, bland. This was the game, as Wolves, or not the Wolves of last season, and Newcastle
Well,
just
they're showing it the
typical
last
Newcastle.
couple of weeks, though.
They have, yeah,
They are really showing it now. I mean, they're up to 12 now. I don't think
yeah.
it was like a week ago they were
But when you
level with
mix,
Watford at the bottom. So
yeah, but when you mix these kind of teams like Wolves and Newcastle right now, they've both been quite similar this season in what and how they've been playing. So if that was the game I was going to pick that I would not watch the highlights of, because I did not watch the highlights of this game, because I didn't care for it as much, then that's the game that's going to be out of the bunch.
yeah, I suppose so. I mean, I mean, you've said that, but there's always one, isn't there? There was a 0-0 draw. And it
Mm-hmm.
involved Bournemouth. I'm not going to talk too much about really about any of this at all because I don't really know what happened in this game. If I'm being really honest,
Neither
Bournemouth
do I.
involved in another 0-0 draw. Probably more damning for Watford because they failed again to not get their first win of the season. Um, yeah, pretty bad for Watford. They really need to pick up some points badly. They're now
It's pretty
3
routine for
points
them.
off, let's say, off safety. We're early days still, but it's not looking good for them, in my opinion. not at all looking good.
I mean,
No, no.
I've been skimming over a lot of the highlights just while you've been talking. The Watford Bournemouth game, it was a lot of just Watford taking a lot of really silly challenges. First time when they've had time to take touches. Fantastic header from Bournemouth as well to hit the bar. Yeah, it's been quite a boring game to be honest to even just sit and watch the highlights of. Good chances from Bournemouth. They, from watching this, really did deserve to take the win on this. Just not being clinical enough yet again, taking some silly shots. That, yeah, you could do a bit more build-up work, get the ball a bit closer in. Good runs and everything from Wilson. He was quite clinical and then missing and what should have been a stone wall of a goal just before half time. I honestly can't believe that missed.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to a game that had loads of goals. And I've been deliberately keeping it away because I'm the Liverpool person in this group.
Oh,
We've got to talk about Chelsea.
okay. I'll have the floor for this one, Ricky. You just. I am yet again this week delighted. Never usually get this for the teams I support.
Fantastic play from Pulisic.
Yeah, thank you, Captain America. Captain America, the cringe thing that's going around just now. I hope we don't keep that. I hope we just leave that for Fox News and all those other, things that advertise him as Captain America. I think he had a very Hazard-esque performance. If I'm not too well in saying, I think he was very confident. I think every single run he made, there was always someone there who could have passed to.
Yeah.
To make a better decision. But I cannot complain because he delivered. There was a deflection for one of the goals, but
second goal deflection, but the power behind that, it was going in deflection without the deflection, but
he had the confidence and he delivered. And I think Lampard was right to take him off quite early. He even said so himself that it was the right decision. I think he got the hat trick. He played really well. He showed so much confidence. There's times where I'm sitting, why he's not made that pass? Abraham, etc. Why he's not made that pass? But he proved that he can score with his head. He proved he can drill past a lot of defenders. And this is what I actually.
Patrick, left foot, right foot, and header.
Yeah, I didn't never had to write this down. But what this performance reminded me of was when he first broke through at Dortmund, because he'd a quiet season and a bit in these last couple of seasons in Dortmund, but this showed me of. I know he's still young, but the Pulisic of old.
It's a bit harsh. It's a bit harsh to say that because he's not really had many opportunities. His Lampard's been very reluctant to start him.
Yes.
He's been easing himself in. He's
the
come off the bench the last couple of weeks, as you'll know yourself.
Yeah, it was because he had quite a. Other Chelsea players had a pre-season and whatever, and were getting fit to the squad. He was with the US. He was with USA in certain tournaments, so he got an extra week off. He even said himself, "Oh, I want to come back, I want this," but obviously Lampard is into this big new job. He's got a lot. He's got certain players, Hudson-Odoi, etc. They're all there. Mason Mount, who's an excellent. He keeps Pulisic away for a wee bit, lets him fit in a wee bit, gradually just puts him in, builds his confidence up. He has a good performance against Ajax. I thought he was great against Ajax. And he comes to this game and just tears it up, and I was delighted with his performance, as well as others.
Got to admire that Rodriguez goal, though.
Oh, I was not mad whatsoever.
No, you can't be mad from that.
I was not. The only thing I was mad about is that usually when you score a goal like that, you're celebrating, you're mental, but it was a consolation goal. Chelsea were 4-0 up very easily, and very excellent goal. I'd say goal of the week in my opinion. But that's the only thing I'm mad about, is that he couldn't celebrate much because you can't really celebrate when you're 4-1 down or whatever. So
it's tough to celebrate something like that.
How so? I've got to ask you this question. I think I asked you something similar last weekend. Is Lampard exceeding expectations? Did you believe that you would be fourth in the league at the moment, 5 points clear of whoever's fifth. Obviously, Arsenal I think have got. Um, yeah, they've got a couple. Have they got a game in hand, or is the BBC just not updating?
Uh,
I'm not
no,
sure.
no, it should
Oh, they
all
haven't.
be. It
That's
should all
fine.
be.
That's fine. It's just the BBC. But yeah, did you believe you'd be fourth, cruising
Nope.
in your Champions League group as well? Is Lampard exceeding expectations, or is it like no, Chelsea should be doing this and he's actually just delivering it?
Yeah, this is a really strange season for me, as I said last week. I think he has. Obviously, time will tell if that remains to be my answer.
Still very early on, of course.
Still,
Yeah.
not even a third into the season, so I don't think I'm going to jump to that. But your question's a very good question. I did not think we'd be in this position. God darn no. When you think of the depleted squad at the start of the season, when we didn't know if Lampard was going to be in, we had aging players. We weren't a club that believed in giving academy players a lot of chances. There was just no hope there. I was sitting going, oh my God, we could get 8th, we could get 10th. This could be a season where we get smashed about. But no, this season is proving to be a very exciting season, a very fresh season.
Yeah.
Not a season I'm used to as a fan. I'm actually quite happy where we are just now. Usually in the old times, I'd be going, oh, we should be top, we should be challenging. But this season, I'm enjoying. There's no pressure. There's pressure, but there's not a lot of pressure I'm used to as a fan. But watching us play, the start of the season was a tiny bit shaky, but that was our teething period. But watching us now, we do concede goals. Okay, the defending's a bit iffy. We need to work on that. But our attacking is up there with, as our position shows, one of the best in the league. Our attacking, the defending is letting us down severely. A lot too many mistakes, not as much as other teams at Arsenal, Tottenham, etc. But our team is gelling. We've got quite good depth. We think of players who have performed out their shell a lot this season. But no, I'm really enjoying it. And do I think it's kind of the same as Leicester, where will we fall off? I think we will. And that comes with the territory. We're not got an experienced team. Are we riding on luck? No. But right now, we just need to live in the moment and enjoy what we're seeing, because it's not going to last. I don't think.
Well, time will tell, obviously, with that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You've got a similar situation with us, except you haven't got the FIFA Club World Cup, but
Mm-hmm.
you're still in all the competitions, I believe. Yeah, I think you will drop off a bit, but
It's a
it's about
given.
what the other teams do, and I just don't see that a lot of strength around you at the below you at the moment. I think there's a couple of teams in front of you who are quality, but I think if you look below fifth place, there's not a lot of consistency there. So.
There's not the only team threatening, and we're right beside them, is Leicester. That's the only team that I can say is going to be tough to get either above them. And it's a team where I'm going to go. They're not going to go below us right now. I think Leicester are way too strong. I think Arsenal, in my opinion, have not a better squad than us, but they should, with the players on paper, they should be up there with us, and they should be. They should be. I think they should be ahead of us. I think we deserve to be ahead of them right now. But I think our league position is where we should be right now. You can't say we should be ahead of Leicester because we're at the same points. Oh, but we should have this, we should have done that. Leicester, where they should be, we're where we're supposed to be right now, and I have no complaints.
Fair enough. That's a pretty good evaluation, I would say, Melissa.
Yep.
Thank you for that. There's one final game. West
One.
Ham, Sheffield United. Drew 1-1. It's another one of those games which
Mm-hmm.
I've not watched too many times. But a solid point for both teams. I did watch the highlights of this one though. West Ham should have won it at the end. Felipe Anderson maybe should have got a goal. I can't remember who it was. Someone
Snodgrass.
being quite selfish, but yeah, solid point for Sheffield United away from home again. Up to seventh. Obviously, that the table's so bunched up at the minute that for example, if I say my nice hang on, if I refresh it, with that. Let's use an example of Spurs who are 11th. If they win next week, and depending on all the other results, they could be up to 6th. So it's very very tight at the minute. With that, so I don't want to get too much with that. But Sheffield United are doing well. They are doing well, but the problem I've got is that they're not winning enough games.
I think Sheffield right now, considering they're just up, and their team isn't experienced this level. As if they got relegated 2 seasons ago and they're back up this season, like Norwich, for example. They're a team that are very inexperienced. They're a team that I think are doing really, really well for the squad they have. I think there's a lot of players there that you would expect to be having such great starts to the season. A lot of championship players, established championship players in that team. But I think that they're a team that are riding luck. Other teams underperforming. Like they're a team that are sitting there, and I think they're getting points. But if other teams, the teams that you think would perform, played well, then I don't think they'd be in the position that they're in just now.
Okay, well, I think this is going to be a very, very easy final question. Team of the
Okay.
week?
Goalkeeper and
No. I mean, like, who were the team of the week? Of the 20 teams, who were the team of the week? Who got the best result? Who played the best? Who was the outstanding
Leicester.
team of the week?
Leicester.
Leicester. There's
Yeah.
no debate. Very
No,
easy.
there's
You,
no
you,
debate
you
on
did you did say that there's we never discussed this. So Leicester, yes.
Yeah.
You have to. You cannot clean sheet 9 goals away from home. It's the perfect game. Perfect result.
It's a perfect result for Leicester City fans. I'll be hoping it carries on with that.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
Well, I think that's. Have you guys got anything else to talk about?
yes.
Here we go.
I want to simply ask Miller, since he is a Rangers fan, about their performance this weekend. Although it's outside of the English Prem, I just want to simply ask what his thoughts of Rangers' performance this weekend was.
What was now? You asked me this, and I was very happy with my other team's game. I was very delighted. I had no complaints. But however,
Our Motherwell took a 1-0 up.
however, the hat is off, the jacket's off, everything's off. I am going to say this, okay? Celtic were not poor a few weeks back. They were kind of a bit flat, and Rangers were winning 5-0 twice in like a week,
Yeah.
and everyone was jumping about going, oh, it appears I've been talking to a sidekick, and she says that Rangers are going to win the league on the final day. Celtic will be second, and Kilmarnock will be third. And I'm sitting going, what? Like the dip in class, like shown class, the last couple of weeks has been shown because Celtic look like the Liverpool or Man City of Scottish football right now. They look like they've tons of depth, which they do. They've tons of quality, which they do. Flying past everyone at the moment. We are level in points with them. They're beating us by goals scored. But we're riding their luck last couple of games. Some people will say, "Oh, but that's what some big teams do." You know, it's how these big teams get by the season. They can win 5-0 2 weeks in a row, and then they get crappy 2-1 results, etc. But we were lucky. I would say we were really, really lucky. If we drop points here, then it'd be a catastrophe. People would be screaming. A lot of folk in Scotland would be screaming for different reasons, but they would be screaming. I think Tav missing another penalty. I think he needs to be taken off it just now. I know he's going. I don't debate how important he is, how important his goals have been, but he needs to be not stripped of it. Just give him time to breathe, because he knows himself. He's on social media. Knows himself. There's been a lot of criticism. A lot of fans give him abuse. I've seen it all. I think it's out of order. I think Rangers fans are so quick to praise someone, so quick, so quick to make a song for Jermaine Defoe in his first game, and are so quick to mouth off and say the captain should be sold. A guy that's scored so many goals from his position, won in so many games, been a great player for the last few years. Are so quick to say 5 million for him. Someone can take him, get him out off the books, etc. Play Polster, but you have got to be patient. As we all like to pride on us being a very patient bunch,
Yeah.
but we're not. We're not. We're impatient. Most of us. I don't think. I don't think Tav should be out of the team. I just think he shouldn't have so much responsibility for where he is at the moment. I think he needs to be taken down a peg, a tiny, tiny bit. Take the penalties off and give it to Defoe. You know Defoe's going to score a penalty easy. I've seen him do it. You know Morelos has it in him as well. You know Davis could even do it if you gave him the chance. So take some pressure off his shoulders. He's also the cat. I'm not going to say strip of captaincy. That'd be stupid. Just because he's taking free kicks and penalties, and he's a captain. That's a lot of responsibility.
Oh yeah, of course.
So he needs to just calm down a bit.
For a club at Rangers with the players it's got, surely I'm not taking it away from Motherwell that they played a good game, but that should be just a walk in the park, surely, for Rangers. That should be an easy win. Or a comfortable win anyway.
Motherwell are not a poor side. Motherwell are a team that you know every year
they're going to be top 6.
They're going to be top 6, top 7, and they're going to give the big boys like Celtic and Rangers, potentially Aberdeen, a good game.
Yeah, every time they have. They might
not have won, every time
at least gave you a good fight.
Every time I've watched Motherwell Rangers, it's not a very comfortable game. It is not. It's a very depressing game to watch.
Yeah.
It's the same as Kilmarnock Rangers games. They know what they're doing. They know with Rangers. The thing Rangers is quite predictable sometimes, and they know that they'll sit behind the ball. They'll put 6 people behind and won't care as long as they get points. Because Motherwell are not pushing for the title or whatever. They're pushing for points, and that's why we fail in contrast, because we are going for that top spot and they're not. So if they get that point, it's going to be like a loss to us, but it's going to be much more to them.
Oh, 100%. But anyway, we've got Celtic. I've got Motherwell next week, or during the week, sorry. So that'll be a good comparison on how the teams are.
Despite what I said about Motherwell, I think Celtic will smash them.
You'd like to think.
I think they're too good right now. I think I don't like to say this, but it's truth. We're on a very unbiased at times podcast, so I'm going to be very unbiased and say that they will probably smash them. Is it away or is it home?
I believe Celtic are at home.
Oh well, that's a given then. They'll probably smash them.
Alrighty, fair enough. Well, I think we have ran just past our time, so I'd like to thank you boys for joining us again. It's been another enjoyable debate of football.
It's always a pleasure.
Sitting back and letting you guys do the Scottish football analysis there.
We might as well chuck a little bit of the Scottish, you know.
We might as well. We're short in time. Might as well lengthen it out a wee bit. So.
Fair enough. Well, thank you boys for joining us. Until next week, guys. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. Drop it a like, share, and whatnot. And we shall all see you next week.